So we're going to talk about color. This is one of my favorite books that I have, and it's by Chronicle Books, and it's kind of old now, but they're still available. Anyway, it goes through all different combinations of colors. Sets of twos, then we get into threes. But these books, and any book on color, is really great to have, and one of the reasons is fabric stores have a limited assortment of fabrics, and by getting to know colors, you're able to use what's available in a much more efficient way. I have the habit of coming up with great ideas, go to the fabric store, and they don't have what I want. And learning more about color combinations has really helped me use what's available. So a great thing to have is an inexpensive color pocket wheel. A lot of the shops have fluorescent lights which distort the color of fabric. So when you have a color wheel, you can take that into the store with you and you get a better idea, what exactly you're buying. One of the things I have been creating for years is these little portable project color cards. So here I've wrapped yarn, but sometimes I use embroidery floss, or I use a piece of the fabric to create my color palette. And then for the fabric, I just glue at the top of the piece. And sometimes I put like a little slit in, almost like a buttonhole, so that way when I'm at the fabric store, I can check and see what the buttons look like through the buttonhole. But this is a great way to match up your threads and, keep everything organized. Again, I use the mat board, and I get scraps from my friend who owns a frame shop, but, they're nice and stable. So, and this will last for years. They have the little word card. I guess we can call this a little booklet, but the paper isn't very thick. Sometimes I've used these and glued them a couple pages together to get a little stiffer, but again, this is a great way to also make notes and have your fabric swatches. Another thing I love to keep hanging around is paint chips, and so I go to lots of different hardware stores. I collect all different kinds of paint cards and paint chips and samples. And here is a book I got from a yarn company that I love, and it's really great for trending colors, but also just seeing different colors in different yarns, especially when yarn is very similar to knitted fabrics. So this has got some really nice colors, and the combinations are fabulous. And then I have a collection. These are all rib knit fabrics. But again, you can see that some of these fabrics you wouldn't necessarily wear on the outside, but combined together to make lingerie can be, really beautiful and unusual. So I try to group my colors together. Some of the softer reds, but you can quickly see how putting these together, for lingerie, it's really fun and, really beautiful combinations. So if you're a cool skin tone, you want to stick with cool colors, especially with lingerie, because, we want it to be the most flattering. And then if you're a warm color, you want to stick with warms. So some fabrics, like a true white, can be worn by both. And to find out what color of skin tone you have, you can just simply take a piece of printer paper, and I fold it in half because it makes it a little bit more opaque, and just hold it up to your skin, and it will bring out the tone of your skin so you can see what skin tone you have. So again, at the fabric store, I will find a blue lace, and I can't find anything to match, but Then I'll go over to the satins and I find a pink, and you know, it will look good together on top. So I do a lot of color layering with different laces. So I want to talk again about lace. So the lace that I showed you how to do the corners on, I cut these flowers out of that lace. So you can just trim around the edge. You can leave some extra for stitching down. But I like to attach them to another lace sometimes, just to add a little point of interest. Or, you know, you can do a random pattern, or you can do these symmetrically around. They're also great for covering little holes. But like for beading, which I have a few beads here, I really like to use the clear sequins and small pearls and clear beads. And like when you're working on any kind of floral, you know, we would bead the center. We see that a lot. Or you can put your beads around the scallop edge. They're just really fun to play with. And so you want to have like a little collection of beading needles. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a very long, thin needle, and it helps get through some of the tiny eyes in the beads. But again, it's really fun, and like some of the little bows, you'll see like 3 little white pearls or 3 little, just a nice little accent. So I want to tell you about the Wonder Under, and this is sold for hemming pants. So the Wonder Under comes in a roll, or you can buy it by the yard. But you can just cut a small piece, and I use it for an adhesive. So when I want to attach the appliques, instead of having to pin or baste, just cut a small piece, stick it behind, and then with the iron you just tack it down. And then this is the stay tape, and it's great for reinforcing seams, especially with fragile fabric. But I use this on all the t-shirt shoulder lines, and it will keep knits from stretching out. So this is a really great thing to have. It comes in either bias or cut against the grain, so this one doesn't have any stretch, but you can get it on the bias, so it's a little bit more stretchy. Great again for necklines, using for zipper support, spot pockets, but especially in lingerie. It will keep the seams from shredding apart like in silk pajamas. The sides of camisoles that are cut on the bias. So we want to talk about straps. So these are called slides, and this is the loop. So in combination, they allow the bra strap to adjust. And here's one put together with the loop down at the end. So how we create this is that you will take the length of your elastic, and you're going to slide into the slide, and then you slide back into it again. So I've included a diagram in the making of a bra. So it will look like this. So you want to have at least 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch to tack it down. So you want to use a very small zigzag when you sew down the elastic, but you don't want it too close to the slide where it becomes completely immobile. You want it to have a little bit of flexibility. So you want to keep it close, but not too close. So once that's stitched down, it's actually a good idea to have all your pieces on the elastic prior to sewing. So you would put on your loop, and then you come back down to your slide, and you're going to run your elastic through the top section of the slide and then back down. And that way you are able to slide and adjust your strap. Now this is a shorter strap, so this is only a partial strap, which would be connected to the front half of the strap. And we don't want our straps to end at the shoulder. We want it to go either in front of the shoulder or behind it, a good 2 to 3 inches. And you can use other things for straps. There's all kinds of cute ribbons. We just want to make sure that the strap is comfortable. So you could use this in combination with the elastic. But for a larger cup, we want to make sure that we have at least twice that wide so we don't have the strap sticking into our shoulders. And you can combine some of these trims with just regular elastic to create your own lingerie type elastics.